Good afternoon, crafty friends. Welcome to my craft room. I'm Yvonne with Amjour, on my mind journaling and more. And today will be, I believe this is episode 2 of journaling as a therapeutic outlet. So today I just kind of had an inspiration. I saved this little tag. This is from actually last weekend. I went and did some shopping. I had a day to myself and I stopped at one of the secondhand stores that I just kind of pop into and check out. I look at fabrics, ribbons, yarns, crafty things. So I'm in and out quick. But I have to confess, I always look at the linens. And so the only thing I purchased at this store today, that day, was a table runner. It was a table. I wish I had it here to show you, but I've already put it on my dresser. And so it was a table runner that was handmade, and then it had cross stitch all over it. Beautiful, beautiful cross stitch. And I have to say, I have a thing about picking up linens. I just don't know what it is. It's like I'm called to them. I purchase these linens all the time. And I really don't understand the reasoning other than I'm always purchasing the old-timey linen napkins, tablecloths, anything that has any type of hand stitching on it. And whether I use them in journals or just use them in my home, um, a lot of the linens that I own now, I've purchased from secondhand stores. So that's kind of the inspiration for today. And so I've collected throughout the week a bunch of things that I thought I could incorporate into this page. So these are some lace stickers. I've got some butcher paper. I've got this is pattern paper from an old sewing pattern. I've got an embossing, 3D embossing folder that's like a textile. I don't know if I'll use all this stuff, but this is what I've pulled. Um, this is some linen tape, or fabric tape, I should say, that may be used. This is like a ribbon of fabric flower that I made with a button center. This I made several of them, but then I used the rest of these on a journal cover as an embellishment. So I have this one left. I have some cheesecloth that I tea dyed. I have some actual lace that I purchased. Now this is, I believe this is called tatting. And you can see this, I don't know if you can see the little eyelet that would button onto a little girl's dress. So I bought that at a secondhand store. I've cut it apart, so there's several pieces of this that I thought might get used somehow on this page. Oop, more of the cheesecloth. I found a quote, special, regarded with particular affection and admiration. And so that is, whether I like it or not, for whatever reason, I'm always drawn to linens of some way, shape, or form. This, I used part of this in my February journal, but what it actually is from an old like cross stitch book, or and I'm not a sewer, embroidery book magazine, and in the middle section it had these patterns, and you iron them on to fabric and then go back and trace with your threads all the pretty embroidery stitches. And maybe that's the reason why I'm always drawn to it. I know the work that goes into that. I'm not good at it. I've tried it, and I don't know. Or there's something in my childhood that triggers some sort of fondness and a good feeling. So then I've just got some. This is a ticket I made with a stamp. Those are some Tim Holtz ephemera pieces that have stitching and yardage for fabrics, some tags that may get used. Again, not everything will get used. I just like these bunnies, and maybe it will go somewhere, but we'll see. Another thing that I stamped, another piece. And then I just have the pattern on the table runner that I purchased has a bunch of roses on it. So I just found some of these roses cut out. I have a little, this is so old. This is a little bitty pocket. It's a pocket that I used to use this type of thing in my scrapbooking pages to you put in just some findings that maybe you want to keep. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but I have it. And then this is brand new. It's one of the simple stories. Every stitch is done with love. So those are the pieces that I pulled out to utilize in this for this spread. So I'm going to bring out my junk journal, which is pretty full. I was flipping through this the other day, contemplating how I was going to do this page, and I don't have very many pages left in this book. I do want to keep this out where I see it because that's the whole inspiration. So I was flipping through, and it's pretty full, so it might be time to create a new personal junk journal. And you know, there's several blank pages in here, but a junk journal is just that. It's your journal. It's whatever you feel is right. And if you feel like the journal is complete, then it's time to get a new one, buy a new one, start a new one, whatever you want to do. So I did find a page I thought would work for this spread. This is what we did the last time. And there's just stuff I've stuck in here. Now, where was it? Oh, here it is. So this page, I did some echo printing last summer just because I like to try new things. I'd never done it before. Echo printing, I did this on paper, but it could be also done on fabrics, which I haven't attempted that yet. But I sewed in, hand stitched the paper on this side. So even though it's going to only be a one-page spread, I think that's where we're going to start with this. So last time I said at this point, I think I'm going to turn on some lovely music, but I'm going to continue to talk throughout my process, and I'm not sure if I'll edit that out or just leave my voice on in the background with some music. But either way, if you want to put me in the background and work on in your creative journal or start one, just grab a piece of paper and start start doodling. This is your time too. So if you're watching, I hope you are journaling for you or as a part of your therapeutic outlet. All right, so the first step, I believe, is going to be like a background, which I guess I need the book back. And off to the side, I have a bunch of, these are very old, chalk paints. Again, I have a lot of supplies that I buy for specific projects, and then I don't go back to them for whatever reason. So I think I'm going to start with this chalk paint and just kind of see how that goes. Now, the background on this is just some tea-dyed paper, and it's just regular computer paper that's been hand-dyed. So I think I'm going to spread on a little bit of some gesso on the back to give this paint something to grab. And wonder if I should put something under this. Yes, that's ripped. Let me try this one. Okay. I guess just in case. There we go. That'll be good. Just in case. I'm just going to put a little bit of this down. It's almost empty, so let's see if I can get by with this much. My brush was a little bit crunchy. All right, so I'm not going to do any set pattern. I'm not going to try to cover the whole page. I'm just going to give it a crisscross pattern here and there, just to give it a little bit of something for the paints to bite onto. And I don't know, I've watched a lot of YouTubers do some creative art journaling, and I think always the first step is kind of a background. That somebody texted me. That's the bad thing about trying to record this time of day, is most people know I'm on lunch and they're trying to grab me for one thing or another. It's all good. So if you heard that beep, that was just a text coming through. So I think that's where I'm going to leave that for now. And then I think, because I want to try to use the colors in this echo printing, this is what's called scallion. I have no idea what shape these paints are actually in, because they're very old. Ooh, and dried up. Yeah. Oh, that is not paint. That is the cardboard piece that was on top. And I thought grabbing a towel. Let's see if I can get some of this out. I thought leaving that cardboard piece would actually help the paint keep better for whatever reason. It's coming out, okay. But then I guess over time, I don't know, this may be a couple of years old. Ooh, it's very thick. Very thick. Let's just see how it works out. I think I like that color because of the green thread. Some yellow. Let's see if I can get this out. That needs to be mixed up or shaken. Now, let's try this. I'm just going to pull it out. There's some, whoa, coming out fast. Coming out hot. And what color is this? Ink. Is that like a brownish? This one's shaking up a little better. Oh, is it new? Well, look at that. This one must be newer because it has like a metallic top to it. Oh, it's so thick. See if I can get just a tiny little bit of that out. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm down for it. All right. That's fairly dry while we were messing with paints. So I think I'm just going to do this. No rhyme or reason. Whatever comes to mind. I'm just going to go for it. Spread it out as much as I can. Like this. Thought I had grabbed. I did. So I'm going to use a little more of that green. And then I have a sponge over here, some water. I'm just going to wet this sponge. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm not a painter. I'm really not an artist at all. But is that, no, it's kind of not working like inks, but let me get some of this yellow. Maybe that will, I can blend that in somehow. Got something stuck to that. There we go. Kind of use the sponge to dab on some of the yellow. A little bit more. Just kind of mimicking what's over here. However that works out. And this paint is flat, so it should dry flat like that. Tiny little bit more yellow. Okay. And so for the brown, I have a stencil brush. I think I want to use the rounder one. And just grab up some of this brown, which I really didn't have much on there, but we'll do like this. Just pounce it on there. There's my more text coming in. So I'm working from home today. I usually work from home on a Friday. And we've had a lot of snow here this week. We still have it. Well, I should say mostly ice. We've had mostly ice. Now we're in eastern North Carolina. So I'm going to put this in this so that I can clean it off after this video. I actually don't like this big blob. I might come back through. Oh, look at that. I've got some of the gesso on the sponge. How about I do this? And so today the sun is out for the first time, and so it's beginning to melt, I should say, beginning to melt. And I'm working, and usually Friday is just a day that I do a lot of reports and things like that. And I start hearing these loud bangs. I'm like, what in the world is that? Well, it was the ice on our roof, and it was kind of melting and then coming down in really large sheets of solid ice, and then landing in the snow and ice on our porch below, standing upright like a solid sheet of ice. Like, wow, we just don't see this type of anything here in eastern North Carolina. And we've had 2 snow events in February, or winter events in February, which is very unusual. All right, I think I'm going to call that done. So I'm going to wipe off my paintbrushes and leave them in that water. Getting a baby wipe. It's probably crunching, I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm going to wipe some of this off of this paintbrush. I do love this paintbrush. So I'll just pop these to the side, way to the side, so I don't knock it over. And then, yeah, I just don't think I want any more of the paint. I will leave it over here just in case. And we'll see. Now what I'd like to do... Ooh, I've got paint everywhere. I'm not sure. This paint may get thrown away, but I'm going to set it back over here, out of the way. So that's like one layer, layer 1. And before I even put any of these pieces and parts down, I gotta get that paint off of my wood floor here. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. If I leave that there, it'll dry, and well, I'll be in very big trouble. So I wonder if I come back now and put a layer of this pattern paper on top of that, how that would look. And I can't really tell, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. This is kind of wet still, so I'll have to edit this part out because I'm going to take my heat gun on this and get this to dry a little bit. This being the first layer. Or maybe I'll just put some music on. Editing videos I'm not very good at. So we'll just see. See how it goes. Okay. All done with that for now. Now, what I need is some Mod Podge. And I guess I should try to cut this down some. No, actually, I'll cut it after I get it down. But I do want this side of it to show those lines through. I can't use that plate, and I only grabbed one out. I usually put this Mod Podge on one of those little snack plates, and I can't do that this time because it's already used, and I keep them in a whole completely different part of the house because we use them for other things. So I kind of squirted out a little too much here. Be all right. There we go. Let's see. I guess that's the whole entire sheet. I usually like to do it in a little bit at a time. So, see how this goes. But remember, this is supposed to be therapeutic. And I'm really not worried about how it comes out in the end. It's the process that I'm using as a therapeutic outlet. So just the process of gluing and painting, it takes your mind off of everything. Everything you have going on. This must have been a little crooked. I don't think I can do it now. It'll be all right. It's just so therapeutic just to come in here and just create whatever that may be. Here it is. Whatever that creation or whatever you're working on is. Apparently did miss. All right, I'm gonna try not to make a mess here, but I feel like I don't want to put much more down, but it's not sticking here in this corner. So there we go. And I also just normally I would put the Mod Podge all over, but I think I'm just gonna do that random pattern here and there and see if it'll work that way. Well, shoot, I think it is all over because I put too much on my brush. This is a silicone brush. I use it for gluing and things like that. I'll put that on there. I'm gonna have to break out the heat gun one more time. Hopefully this is it for the heat gun. And I really have some thick areas right here. Almost there. And almost can't, oh, it's gonna fall. Oops. I'll just put it there. Sorry about that. Almost can't see the background through it. But I've glued the page down to the wax paper. I'm going to take that off. Okay. But I'm going to leave it right here because I see some glue on this side. But normally I would take scissors, but for some reason, I mean, my scissors are readily available, but I feel like I just want to tear it because that's the look I want, I guess. And so, here we go. Okay. I'm just checking the back here. It's still, I'm gonna have to break out the, well, I'm gonna break out the hot heat gun one last time. Just to make sure I have it the other side. I don't want it to stick. Okay. Alright. Alright, so I guess that's what, 2 layers now? This feels so nice. And that's another part of it, is that I like the textile, sometimes the way things feel. That's why I like tea-dyed paper so much. I like the way it feels when it's dried. I I air dry it. I don't dry it in the oven. Okay. Now, I wonder, I have some papers over here. I wonder if I should do some sort of collaging. I have this type of 3 papers I picked out. And, I mean, this one kind of reminds me of a woman that would do this type of work. And then, for whatever reason, I'm drawn to this. And if you look at this chair and the back of this couch here, can you see that? It's got some embroidery on the back of it. So it's kind of wasting this paper, but I have a couple more. You know what? I'm just doing it. I'm going to get the chair, ripping it because I don't want it to be perfectly straight. There. And let's see. This chair won't make it in there anyway. Let me take that piece off. This piece. Let's see how this works. Okay. So I'm gonna keep ripping and tearing until I get it to fit in a way I like. But I still want to see the shape of the chair and the couch. What is this? It's like I don't know, is it Queen Anne style or something? I'm not 100% sure. But I really like it. And it just reminded me of that linen, someone maybe sitting here doing some cross stitching. I have a little bit more I can use, but do I want one of these women? I do. Let's see. Which one do I think I want? I think it's going to be this lady right here. Maybe she's showing off her work. I don't know. Maybe she won a contest for some of her cross stitch. But that could be a little pocket. Do I need a little pocket? I don't know. And do I want more of this? Do I want a bigger piece? Let's just see if I want a bigger piece. Maybe it'll go down the whole end, and then I'll put this on top. So look at that. I've covered up almost all of that background, but that's okay. Let's see if I can rip this a little better to show some more of that background. I want this piece, or do I want to go to the edge? More of the ladies on the edge, and then this can go along the bottom. Or this. That says a free gift to Women's World readers. I feel like Women's World readers would do some cross stitching and make some of those linens that I love. But I think I still want this one. And now I need to get some inks. And I think we went through this the last time. Do I want... I have Victorian Velvet or Vintage Photo. Thinking with this, it might be Victorian Velvet, but we will see. Maybe I don't have Victorian Velvet anymore. I do. Alright. I do right here. I know I'm not going to use this piece, so I'm going to see how it looks on this piece. That's the Victorian Velvet. There. Vintage Photo is kind of my old standby. Yes. Vintage Photo. I use it the most. Let's see. I mean, it shows up better on this background. Now see where I've added the pink. What if I go back around? Give me a piece of this too. Okay, I think this Victorian Velvet needs to go on the pink. Yeah. But do I want to also go back around with Vintage Photo? Perhaps. Okay. I think I have a plan. Oh, I've got to wipe that off. That's all right. It's silicone. It will come off. Okay. So I have underneath here, I have a page paper I use. It's just a file folder. I use this when I'm doing some inking. Oh. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So here are my two pieces. I think on this, I'm going to go around with the Victorian Velvet, kind of like this, all the way around. Just cover up any of that white with the Victorian Velvet. Yep. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Do I want the brown around it too? I think so. Brown. Vintage Photo. Just lightly, here and there, as if it's aged a little bit. A little bit light markings. And then I think on some of these I want to make it look like it's been creased. Maybe that's enough. Okay. Now we have this. I'm just going to do the Vintage Photo all the way around. It's okay if I folded it there, and that's fine. I kind of want it to look old-timey, which a lot of my junk journal pages are more vintagey. I think I've been thinking about why I'm so attracted to these linens while I'm doing this, and I think it comes down to my grandma. I was very close with my grandmother, more so than my mom, and I have very fond memories of her. And she was the type of person. She darned socks, for goodness sakes. She grew up in the war, you know, the big war, and if I need some of this pink, maybe. And so they were very frugal. She used the wax paper out of cereal boxes to line her cake pans. She saved tin foil. That's how frugal she was. But she did a lot of cross stitching. She made clothing. So I think maybe that's where my love of this type of where I'm always drawn to the linens. I think that's where it originates. So are you drawn to something? Or do you always, if you're a thrifter, do you always, you can't leave it in the store, you have to buy it? So here's another thing. I don't even know the why I did this, but I went to, it was a new thrift store I'd never been, and they had a bunch of clip-on earrings, and again they reminded me of my grandmother. And so I walked away from those earrings. I looked at every single one of them, but there was just this one pair that I was completely drawn to. I couldn't leave them there. I bought them, and now they're on display in my living room. I'm fortunate I have a dining room and a living room, and so they're just in like a little trinket box. I bought this at a thrift store too. It's again, here's something I'm drawn to, linens. It's a coaster, but someone made it, and in between the glass edges is a hand crocheted doily. So that is what is holding these clip-on earrings in my living room. So those are the type of things I'm drawn to. Very nostalgic when it comes to that type of stuff. So therefore, a lot of the things in my journal. Ooh, I didn't make that a pocket. Let's see if I can come back with this. I want to rip it. No, that's just not going to work. But I do kind of like. There we go. I think I did this in on my last page. Where was it? Where was the last page? I had some curled edges and I just went with it. Yep. So I'm going to do that. Just go with it. Okay. Okay. What else do we have over here? Well, this for sure has to get put in here. And I think I want some. I have my rolly cart off to the side. So this is, what do you call this? Some type, I can't think of the word of what this type of cording is, but that's what I'm going to use. Let's see what color. I want an old-timey color. What would be considered old-timey? There's a faded green. Maybe this color. Okay. What in the world is this called? Lordy, I'll think of it tonight at some point. Okay. Just gonna cut some of this off. Make a little tag. Yep. And all right, there's that. I don't know about this. Do I want this special? Yes, why not? Why not? Special. How about one of these? Might actually do like that and then write a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to staple it. I used this in my last one too. I really like it. Yeah, I paid $1.50 for that table runner. And I think that hurts my feelings a little bit because I know the work that goes into that. This is too small. My other circle punch is across the room. So, special. There we go. What else do I have? That's very bulky. And it really doesn't go. I really like this bunny too. But I don't think that goes either. I have this Tim Holtz piece that says 6 stitches equals 1 inch. The other one is more geared towards fabric. It says 2/4 equals 1/2, 4/4 equals 1 yard. So I'm going to use this one. 6 stitches equals 1 inch. I need something to journal on. Do I need this? I don't have anything to put in it. Oh, I'm looking off here too. I have these lace stickers. I have more of this paper I could use. And this paper. Yep, I think I need to use some of this. Now, where do I want it? And which little image do I want? This one. Did I keep the scissors out? Yep. Let's see. I almost wish, I wonder if I put my heat gun on that, would it? Probably not. That magazine was so old, it probably wouldn't work. And I had a friend give me a bunch of magazines that she had in her beach house, and there were a lot of old crochet magazines, some of, I forget if this was, well, it was probably some sort of stitching magazine, but there was a lot of stitching. Oh, I just ripped that. A lot of stitching magazines. Forget what else. There was some old calendars that I've used some of the pictures out of. She knows I do this, and she saves me all kinds of nice little things that I tend to use from time to time. I've only been doing junk journaling maybe 3-ish years. I found it on YouTube after a surgery. I think I said this in the last video. And I've been hooked ever since. Normally, I'll try a craft, buy all the stuff, make a few projects, and then move on to something else, the next best thing. And this, I've stuck with. I've stuck with it. Okay. Where's that card? I'm gonna use this one. I don't know if I can remember how to do this, but have you ever made a coin envelope? I think I'm gonna try to make one as like a tuck spot for this card. And so what I think has to happen is let's just move this out of the way. I need to fold this up. I want it a little bigger than this card. And then I want it a little bit bigger because I want that to fit in. And then I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I've never made one. I've made these before, but I've never made one that I needed a specific size. Like I've always picked out the cards or whatever goes in it afterwards. Okay. So we'll just see how this goes. And then I want this to fold down. I hope this is right. Okay. So I need to fold this in this way and this way. Yep. And it overlaps just a little bit. And then it folds, where's the card? Up. And this folds down. Okay? And now, this is the part I have to really remember. I think I cut here and here and here and here. Oh, and then I cut these off, but I cut them off at a slight angle. Yep, one. I think it matters that they match, right? So those fold in again, and then this would fold up on the same fold now. So that creates the bottom. Now we have to do the same thing on the top. Make sure this card still will fit in. Actually, it needs to be a little bit shallower, or okay. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit off from the top because I made the crease smaller. And then the same thing. I do this side and this side to make the top flap. And then this top piece comes off at a slight angle. Same on this side. Just a very slight angle. And that's the coin envelope, top and bottom. All right, and then we take some glue, a little bit of glue will do on this side. Do you see what I did? I have been trying so hard to remember to put this glue in that rubber band, or it's an elastic hair band, and I keep forgetting. Ooh, I could use too much glue there. I'm gonna make sure I didn't glue it together. There. I'm gonna take some of this glue off here. This is butcher paper, so the glue may show through a little bit. Yeah, hopefully it'll dry. And then this glue on the bottom, so I can have a lighter hand on it. Okay, that's the bottom. And I'm not going to glue the top. Okay, just making sure I didn't glue it together. So there's the coin envelope. All right. And what I need to check is it still going to hold this card? Yes, it will. I think I want to cut off a little bit more here because a coin envelope top is pretty small, I think. Actually, that probably looks more like the bottom, but it's all right because I'm not going to glue it closed. I'm going to use it as a spot to hold this card in the journal. So, get the journal back, and I guess that can peek out from there. 6 stitches. Okay, I also have these that I'm probably going to use 1 or 2 from. I've had these for a long time. Yeah. Let's see. Which one do I want to use? I want to use this one. So I need to glue this down first. Oh, I'm covering up that whole couch. I did not want to cover up the couch. Let's see. Okay, we'll do that. That'll go on the coin envelope. That will go there. Or I just want to tuck it. Do I want to put it in there to know that we'll have something in there to pull out? Check the time. Yep, almost time. So what I didn't use is any of that fabric tape, but I don't really think it goes. Looking at the colors, special, yes. And I do want to glue this down. This is kind of thin paper. Like I said, it came out of a very old magazine. Uh-oh, my finger's stuck to it. Come on. Oh, my rolly cart caught my glue. Yay. I know that fits in there. Oh, my finger stuck to it. Okay. And let me get this fabric sticker that I said I wanted. I want it to kind of start there. This is old. I don't know if it will still stick. Yeah, it's got some pretty good stick to it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go right there. And then I have this. Do I just want to use that staple gun one more time? I'm loving this staple gun. Yep, I'm gonna do it. Come on. There. And here. Okay. Where'd my tag go? Oh, here it is. The tag will go right in there. I want it to peek out like that. And we're going to call it done here in a minute. So, did you create anything? Did you get some paper out? Did you start looking at a blank page and not know where to start? Just start. Maybe get some paints if you have them, or some markers, and just start marking up your background. Find some piece of inspiration like this. That's the whole inspiration for this page, is this table runner and this tag. And then just add to it from there. I'm just looking to see if I have any other little pieces of something. Oh, yes. Now where do I want to put this? I know I want it. I put my glue away. Yep. Yep. Cut some things out of magazines. Whatever comes to mind. There we go. And limited edition. I don't know if I can freehand this, but I'm gonna try. Ew, it's coming out terrible. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is square it off and take off those little leaves. Do that and that. Oh, it can be a cute little tag. Let me distress it some. And because I'm going to use it as kind of a tag, I'm going to really mark up the back of it. Okay. And I will use art glitter glue because it will only hold one side. There we go. This will hold it a little bit better. Limited edition. Yep. Huh, put that pin right on the table. Okay. I have thoroughly enjoyed working on this page. I've made a mess, and that's part of it. You just do it. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Just do it. I kind of wanted to use a little piece of this. Let's see if it'll fit in anywhere. I'm just kind of sticking it in for no particular purpose, but I'm gonna not use it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of journaling as a therapeutic outlet, and I hope you're starting your own journal. Okay, have a great rest of your Friday. I will see you next time.